Okay. We are doing a stream test, I guess, but also hopefully getting some code going. It appears to be doing something. There's our ASCII aquarium. The last time I was streaming on this, yeah, it looks good. Yeah, last time I was streaming on this, I had, yeah, there it goes. It's having problems. Last time I had issues with this, it was streaming into nothingness, which is very disheartening, by the way. So, some lost stream out there somewhere. We've got Vexas, and we're going to see if we can get a solution to this before everyone starts crying upstairs. So we've got Vexas here, and Vexas is doing this really hilarious bug where wake up, where it catches up time, and that's the second hand sweeping around, catching up its time, because it actually keeps track of what time it was the last time it calculated the time, and then it keeps track of when. Let's see if I can find it here. There we go. So it takes the last time that the time was checked and runs it against now, and if it's bigger than 1 second, then it adds 1 second, and then from there increments forward to, you know, it added a second and that added a minute, and if that minute is greater than 59, then you add an hour, and all of that stuff. So this loop actually, when it goes to sleep, it should technically be doing, like, it should be picking this up and it should be updating these times, but it's not, I guess. So I'm not exactly sure why. And it's, I mean, come on. That bug is pretty hilarious, though, and it's almost like I almost want to keep it in there, but there are actually issues with it, because once this time calculation takes place, it determines whether or not, based on the times, which is, so you have to keep this separate. There's actually a tracking of how many milliseconds it's been since this device was turned on, and then we take that time in milliseconds, which is, you know, set up here essentially. Oops, is that millis function, and that function is used to determine whether or not enough time has passed. But that function has no concept of hours or days or whatever. So we apply that here by applying our hours and days and building up what day it is, what time it is, and we use that to figure out whether or not today is a particular day that has events in it. And as far as I know, this actually resets the to-do items, so that's kind of valuable, I guess. And then that's just rolling over the months. So the check events feature is something that's not even going to take place unless it actually registers that it's past midnight. So the threat level is midnight here, and we need to make sure that we not only pass midnight in a normal time without this, you know, zippy speed up mode. Oh, by the way, this is running that 220 milliamp hour battery in there, and it's very light and very handy. And this testing process that I've been doing has been using this, I think it's 1,000 milliamp hour, and I was like, you know, it's a bit bigger. It's a battery pack on it. It's chunky. It's got chunk, but you know, it's not that heavy, and it kind of is, and it kind of bugs me. And I've been carrying it like in my shirt pocket, or, you know, like with a magnet. I just stick it to my hat and carry it around with me. Or the ultimate geekery is where you take a bit of steel, fold it over, and clip it onto your wristwatch, and then this magnet, it's actually light enough that it'll stick right onto the wristwatch. Probably have that upstairs. Maybe I should grab that. Oh, right. Let me see the... let me chop out the pat here. I think it's this keystroke. Yep, that did it. Bingo. All right. There we go. That should work. Okay. So when it rolls over midnight, I run this function, and if it doesn't roll over midnight, it doesn't check the function. And when it does check the function, it actually runs off the now time, I think. Yeah. So the timer is set to now, which means it's using that millis function, and the millis function has no concept of time. It has no concept of what day or date it is. It just runs millis, and that's it. So once it does that, it doesn't even care. So it's going to take today. It's going to take the current time instead of the time that it was trying to speed up with to catch up. It's going to take the current time and remove it. And while I'm thinking about that right now, I think I actually need to... It doesn't need to roll over seconds. Hello? Okay, there we go. I'm actually running this... Whoops. Hello? Love watching those speed run things where something goes wrong and they say, hello? This is actually running Emacs with... I already did that, yeah. On a file that is connected through a SSHFS connection. And that SSHFS connection, if you've never used SSHFS connections before, it's a little spotty unless you've got really solid internet. Because if the internet gets a little spotty, or the connection to the server gets a little spotty, then you're lagging at like the disk level. Essentially, as far as operating system is concerned, you're lagging at the disk level, which it reacts very strangely to, and pretty negatively to. It actually results in some pretty nasty lockups. But it happens rare enough that SSHFS is actually still really useful. Now that I'm recording my note from this tangent, oh, that's right, it locked up. That's why it locked up. Right. Oh yeah. So I can flip forward by minutes. So then instead of the second hand sweeping around, it'll be the minute hand sweeping around, and it'll catch up a bit faster. The other thing is I don't have anything that takes place based on the seconds, like how many exact seconds it has been. So if I flip forward by minutes, it's actually not a big deal. And there it is. So there's the main loop is going to calculate the time, and what's funny is this check only checks whether it's larger than 999, which is over 1 second has passed. So it essentially loops through here, checks, sees 1 second has passed, and then increments 1 second. And then it has I think there's a scan delay, which is 50 milliseconds. And then it loops back and then checks, and hey presto, it's still larger than 999, so it increments 1 more second. So I need some kind of catch in here. See, this is auto-saving, that's the problem. And auto-save mode disabled, there we go. So any lag over SSHFS just locks it up for a bit, and it's very annoying. Even though I do support Emacs's autosave feature, it's actually quite useful. And works well, surprisingly. So I actually don't need to increment by second, or this should be like an extra catch in here for like the time it checks now, and then it checks the last time that it checked, and then it updates that time to what it was, minus the delta of where it was previously. But that last time checked is like 5 hours in the future. And since it's 5 hours in the future, you essentially increment 1 second at a time until you cover 5 hours, which can take some time. So if it increments by 1 minute at a time, that would be an improvement, because I don't actually have anything that needs to check by seconds. The check events technically takes place it takes place at midnight, and then it calculates the time forward. Yeah, forward from now. So the now time is actually... That's actually not a problem. Is that right? Huh. Yeah, so it rolls up the timer, rolls up the timers. Let me show you Vexas here so you have an idea of what's going on. Vexas is right over here. There we go. Let's increase our serial display maximum. So what you're looking at is Emacs running a... That's enough. Emacs is running a... I can't make that bigger. There we go. There we go. I actually need to reduce the serial display maximum now. Smaller, 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 smaller. There we go. Okay. So now you're looking at a serial output of this screen here, which is, I'm not sure if you can see that. So you see the little selector I've got over here on the left hand side? That's actually my indicator for where the menu item is. So both screens are scrolling. This is just you're looking at a terminal screen of the basically the same output that gets displayed on the small screen. So you have full interface to be like do something. It's interesting. Let's see. Terminal backspace is Control H, I think. Do something interesting. Ta-da! And now you can turn that into a timer. And we gotta clean the guinea pig cage. That's coming up. I think I have a display, special display for just the timer. Yeah, there we go. So this is like an independent display that only shows one timer on it, and then on the serial terminal it shows up like this over here, I guess. Like this. That's kind of cool. But you can turn the note items into timer items, and then you can also set time based on so you can set time based on hours. So we could set this for, let's do 15 minutes in the future, do something interesting, and there we can see we've got it's counting down for 15 minutes. But we can also do let's see, what time is it? It's 8:33 right now. So if we go 9 o'clock and hit C, it'll do next time it is that time. There we go. Alright, hang on. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. So these are the calendar items, and so that display that actually there's only a display on this screen for that. I haven't programmed the serial terminal duplicate display of it. But the problem has been that when we go to sleep, and we've been using there's an ESP32 deep sleep function that I've been not using because it resets the SRAM. So all this stuff gets wiped out if it's not saved in EEPROM. But once that happens, everything just gets lost, basically. It's like doing a reset. But it's very, very low usage during that time. Well, I just found out that there is a light sleep function, which is, it's not a deep sleep function. See, I don't even know if this is coming through fast enough. Very frustrating. And if that light sleep function seems to be locking up time on it, I'm actually not sure why it's doing that, because this is, there you go, that light sleep function is processed, it wakes up every 2 seconds, and then once it sets the current screen to the display off screen, it processes that as a normal state of it just kind of being off and not doing much. There we go. So and while it's sleeping, you still get this data still processes. Like, it still sends this serial information, and it still performs, I think it still performs this delay, but it's not updating these values. And I don't know if it doesn't have access to the SRAM or some parts of the SRAM, but it is not doing, it is not calculating the time. It is not updating any of these values. And I don't think that has to be separate, because this is the entire loop. The other thing is, if now minus the last time checked is greater, then last time checked gets updated right here. So the question is Millie's function not updating? Is the internal real-time clock not, like, is it not tracking things correctly? And I'm not sure. So there's some workarounds that can be done for this, and I'm trying to figure out what the appropriate way to handle it is. It might make sense to do, where was I? Hello. There we go. I was trying to do a bunch of stuff at the same time. So especially when this day ticks over, because when the day ticks over is when it does a lot of updating of other values. Actually, strangely enough, that might not be a problem. This calendar item thing, if it checks the calendar item, no, let me see. Now, if it checks the calendar item, it's going to be checking against the current time, and whatever the current time is, yeah, it's running against the current time, and the current time is not indicative of what the actual hours are, because the event is tracked by, let me see, I don't think I can open that from here. Yeah, the event is tracked by hours on that day. So if you set it for like 8 o'clock, it'll count ahead 8 hours from midnight, and then calculate how many milliseconds that is, and then set the timer for that many milliseconds in the future. But if that happens and it's already, 9 a.m. and it thinks it's midnight, and it's catching up the time slowly, to winding the watch forward, it's actually still not going to calculate that. So that is a little weird. Let's go back. Come on. Yeah, this OBS, it always chokes out this box. I actually tripled the RAM on this, and it's doing a lot better, but it's close. It is amazing how much resources streaming uses. But where is this? Yeah. So if I flip forward by minutes, I think that's going to be a good way to handle it. I technically don't need to track seconds. It's not that important. I roll forward by minutes, and then if every valuation, let me see, that might make a lot of sense. There we go. Time seconds increment here. That's it. Float angle, that's just for displaying the time. I don't even have the seconds in the string display of the time. And then, I do use seconds for, yeah, I do use the seconds for calculating whether or not the light is blinking. When the timer goes off, it actually looks kind of neat. See, we're doing something interesting. That's the other cool thing about this, is you can hit S and add 5 snooze. Essentially, you're adding 5 minutes to that time, so it just keeps going up. And all of these shortcuts are applicable on this keyboard, so you get full control, a full QWERTY keyboard here. And I don't think I can type on this. Yeah, if I type on this, it doesn't update the serial terminal because it's unnecessary, because it's assumed that if you're typing on it, it doesn't need to output the display to the terminal. But you do get there we go. You do get that, we can see that we've got, do another thing interesting. So all of this, it all works together really well, and that's kind of neat. Whoops. Move that up. So the idea was that we can just kind of keep track of all these time items, and not. You have 14 hours on the battery. That's pretty nice. The sleep mode is actually what I've been exploring and what I've been fighting with, because it messes up the time, but I'm not quite sure why it's not updating those time values while it's in there, because time seconds should have gotten updates. You know, as soon as it hits this loop, it should be calculating the time. So maybe I need some serial output to test it. Where was I? See, this delay on this. So every time we loop, let's do, come on, ridiculous. Let's try that. I'm probably going to wipe out this memory. I'm going to wipe out everything that's not in there. So see, this is the other thing, is Arduino is also running, getting updates off of the file, and the file is still loaded on the SSHFS. So that lag, that delay is super weird. So it's not, this isn't technically a local file. So it just looks weird. Alright, so I've got this. That's saved. Let me see, I'm going to lose, oh, right. I'm going to lose anything I haven't saved in EEPROM, so I'm going to go ahead and save that real quick. Commit, success. There we go. Alright. So let's do a reload on that. I don't think I can do that while I have this terminal open, because I think it's listening to this terminal. Let's find out. I've had, not intermittent, I've had conflicting instances where having the terminal open would not let it write, not let it burn the image, the latest code, but so we'll find out now. I've had instances where it didn't work, and I've had instances where it did. Yeah, so it doesn't like that. So let's kill this, and now we'll try again. Hello. There we go. Yeah, flipping forward by minutes that's not bad. The other thing is it should be able to update the time when it wakes up for 2 seconds. I don't know any reason why it wouldn't be able to do that. There we go. So this has it's set to do a permanent tone once it reboots, so that if it reboots in my pocket, that I know about it, and I can figure out what's wrong. Troubleshoot what I just did to it. Let's see. Let's try this again. Okay, so that's how many seconds are going by. That's actually overriding everything else, which is just fine, technically. So we'll go ahead and go to sleep. Sleep. Sleeping. Yep, see, there's the time in seconds, and then it's sleeping. So why are the seconds not updating? Because technically when it wakes up, it should roll time forward. But that's how many seconds it has. So this is going past 1 minute. So let's see. The other thing is, this value is exactly the same. That doesn't make any sense. Why is it the same value? It's incrementing by 1 second, which, sorry, the time in seconds is incrementing by 1 second, which doesn't make any sense because it's sleeping for 2 seconds. Which means when it wakes, it's evaluating 1 second and then it's incrementing 1 second, but it's sleeping every 2 seconds, which means that's our problem. Okay, so if it sleeps every 2 seconds, it's a mismatch between how long it sleeps and how much it increments. Well, there's our bug solved. So technically, all of this is updating. So it'll catch up for half of the amount of time that it spends updating or spends sleeping. So it's losing half the amount of time that it spends sleeping. So technically, and if these time seconds increase, can I skip this ahead by 2? No, I can't. It can only go up by 1. So if I add code, okay. Add code to update time by 2 seconds. Let's see. No, is that right? I don't know if that's right. So if I add code to update this time by 2 seconds, so in the case of a special case, this would go to 50, 59. It might go to 60 though. That's the problem. So if it goes to 61 or something. So if I catch that case that it goes to 61, yeah, if it goes to 61, then I'll lose 1 second. Unless I set this time seconds to 1. Okay, I think I know what to do now. Because the sleep time is, okay, sleep time might cause skip to 60 plus sleep time seconds, 62, reset to 60 and lose 1 second. So I need to evaluate if the time is updated past sleep time and increment accordingly. So that's actually it. Yeah, that's a good way to solve that problem. Saving the file, just whoosh, going so fast. I don't know, man. SSHFS works really well for things that are kind of non-interactive, where you're just grabbing the file. But if it needs to do any kind of like browsing on that system, or it's determining like how many .stl files you have, or if it's trying to view all the files, you're having a bad time. And maybe I need faster internet, but whatever. Speaking of faster internet, so this bug is probably going to be solved pretty shortly, but I did figure this out, and this actually is still complaining that my internet's still slow, so I'm not even sure if this is coming through. So thumbs up, a-okay. We'll go ahead and stop streaming now, and we'll see how it looks, see how it turned out, and see if I need to septuple my RAM or something like that, because literally, yeah. Bingo. Is it still muted? Okay. So the last update is that this stop that. There we go. So let's see if we've got over here. And I think that bitrate's okay. Looks horrific. Looks horrific. Just barely readable. I'm gonna inch the bitrate up. See, it doubled at 6. We'll call that 18. Try that. Let's see if we can handle that. So when last we left our intrepid programmer, he was trying to figure out this strange bug, and the bug was yeah, this time passage. So as it happens, we can get to, oh, is that, yeah, these are my Vexas notes actually. That's too funny. Yeah, it's a sleep wake fast clock. There we are. This was the problem, was that this was evaluating if the last time check was past 90 or 999 seconds, and then it was incrementing the time seconds. This actually isn't a solution to this bug, is it? Yeah, because if it's greater than this, then it should increase more than that. So if it's greater than that, so we need an additional check in here, I guess. But we shouldn't have this evaluated. Let's call this, oh, come on. There we go. We'll do that. That'll give us that value. And our time delta, whoops. Then the last time check. Because it does pull a now. Wait, now's already, yeah, now's already decided. Never mind. We don't need to do that. We'll do the calculation again. We'll sacrifice the nanoseconds. Man, these delays. Okay, so this calculation takes place, and it determines if it's greater than 999, which means 1 second has passed. Or, I'm sorry, 1 second or more has passed. So what we really need to do is figure out how many seconds have passed instead of for this increment. Because once we increment, we need to know if we're going to increment more than 1. Now, I'm probably just going to hack this a little bit and just say it's going to increment checka. So we'll do this. If it's greater than that, then it's going to be more than a second. But let's do that. Do that. Let's do this actually. Hello, there we go. So we'll add it another time if it's greater than that. Because if it's greater than that, then it's been more than 2 seconds. And I think the rest of that calculation doesn't even matter. Yeah, so the potential here is that that time seconds gets updated 2 times, here and here, per instance of, per cycle of this loop. And since the loop might sleep as much as, no? Where is it? That's weird. Yeah, since the loop might sleep as much as, what on earth is going on? Why is that not there? This should be at the bottom of the loop. Unless I broke it. Oh, I did break it. I must have broken it. Yep, there it is. See? This should have jumped to the end of the loop. And when it didn't, I should have realized that my parentheses weren't unbalanced here. Right. So these are, yeah, that's all closed off. There we go. So time seconds increases whether or not, or more than 1 time, which means while it sleeps, we should be able to get this output accurately, since it's sleeping every 2 seconds. This is me saving the file and it taking a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like pull this locally or something, because that's just annoying. And it's normally a lot faster than this, but the streaming and recording concurrently and OBS, it's choking, even with the lower bit rate. So and it's really surprising. So this is here. I don't think I have the serial set up. So that should compile and write all right. Write all right. Yep, nothing there. Oh, is Emacs getting confused about where I am? There we go. Emacs, no. There we go. Okay. Error occurred. Could not open the port. This is the port. Is that the right port? Yes. I don't think I have a serial terminal open. Look at this swirly. Look at this spinning beach ball. Ridiculous. Did I mention I tripled the RAM on this box? Oh, there it is. I am still connected. Look at that. It's only incrementing every... Oh, that's incrementing correctly. So we'll kill that. We will upload our firmware. Still significant delays. Yeah, this... let me bust out this H-top here. This is... Oh, I don't think I like that. This is how things are going. 4 cores, just rocking along. There's our reset. There's our buzz indicating a reset. Turn that off. There we go. And now we should be able to check it on the serial and see the updates take place during the sleep every 2 seconds, and then no clock catch up. Clock catch up. No clock winding action. This is intolerable. Goodness gracious. This reminds me of the last time I was streaming and I had like literal terminals, just pure SSH terminals, and they would lag. Very frustrating. That's why I stopped streaming for a long time. I was kind of hoping to figure this out. 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. Now we'll go to sleep. And sleep. And now we should get updates every 2 seconds, which is looks correct. So let that sleep a little bit. And then once it wakes up, we should not have the fast time. Nope, still got the fast time, but it did seem to catch up a lot faster. Interesting. I wonder if I set it for 3. Oh, 2 seconds is not enough. 2 seconds actually covers 2 seconds, but I'm sleeping for 2 seconds, so technically my time is more than 2 seconds. So what I need is to be able to catch this for greater than 2 seconds, and we're going to be cheap and easy and just duplicate this right here. Oh, but that's going to double up, isn't it? Yeah, this should be an else if, no? Yeah, because this time increment on seconds. So it's definitely going to increment 1 second. Yeah, but if it's 3 seconds, then it's going to increment up here and there. Bad logic, bad logic. Is this even? Yeah, I think that's the right. Else if, yeah, okay. Good. Dude, Control O just sucks on this. It is no good. Slow. Oops. There we go. That's that value. So this should actually be backwards. And we should actually, like, I don't know if I've got a plus equals in here. I don't even like the plus equals because the format is different. Time seconds equals time seconds plus 1. Yeah, because it's checking if 1 second has passed, and if 1 second has passed, then it will increment 1 second. I think this is okay, actually. Oh man, it's too early for my brain. So time from the last check is there you go. See, we're assuming it's not going to be larger than that. So if it is larger than this, then you're going to get 1 second increment. Yeah. Dude, I think this works. I don't even think we need the else if. Yeah, because we're just adding to it. Weak. Alright, so this is kind of a weak catch, but whatever. We'll see it. Oh, that save. Just literally couldn't possibly. And now we're waiting on this to come up. I'm gonna make a local copy or something. I mean, technically, if it's being this slow, well, SSHFS. Okay, so SSHFS is going across the wire, and all of this is uploading across the wire. So it stands to reason that is decidedly the case. Like, that's the problem. So this will actually work as long as our sleep time is not greater than 2 seconds. Yeah. And these are individual times, so that now is already pulled. So it has a locked time that's not updating as it processes. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. There we go. Here's our serial terminal thingy. Let's... Oh, that's funky. There we go. Invert. Oh, wait. There we go. It's just blasting the seconds. So technically, if I do this, it should say it's sleeping. It should update every 2 seconds. Oh, that updated 3 seconds. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I already did this. We figured out that if it sleeps for 2 seconds, then the next time it's going to be over 2 seconds. So that means that it's still calculating time. If it wakes up too short, which it might do every 30 seconds, or every 1,000 seconds, I guess, technically. No, but it's correcting itself, and it's correcting the last updated time, so that value gets evened out. But that means that once this wakes up, we should not have the fast clock. So here's our moment of truth for the bug that I fixed multiple times. Nope, there it goes. Catching up time. Caught it up fast, though. Weird. Kill that. It still went faster. Why is it still going faster? You know what? I'll bet you it's that initial sleep. I think this initial sleep is a problem because it does seem to take longer to react on that initial sleep. Something about like display off. So the first time I initiate that sleep, it seems to entry offset. I don't need that. There we go. Menu options. Okay. There we go. This is here. I think it's still, there we go, there we go. This is where I'm looking for. CPU megahertz comes down, display turns off, the screen is set. So this is, well, this is actually not, that shouldn't be doing that. I don't think it needs this, because once I set it to display off screen, it actually does this sleep immediately. So that would mean I get like a 2 or 4 second times delay on it. So I wonder if that's what it's having problems with. Because once I select sleep here, so incredibly slow. Better with a local file. There we go. Yeah, once it sets this current screen to the display off screen, it automatically does the sleep. So I think it has 4 seconds that it catches up for. Yeah, but it seemed to skip ahead for more than 4 seconds. I'm curious. Let's try that. Oh, the delay. Come on. There we go. Goodness gracious. Rough. It's rough. Looks like we're still delayed a little bit. Here we go. Turn off the tone. Those are our notes, timers. Now we go to, so this sleep function. When I hit it, there seems to be a delay in the responsiveness. So hopefully that delay is away now. So it should wake up 2 seconds in, which looks about right. We'll put it to sleep. And we're getting our sleeping. It's updating. It's like about every 3 seconds, which is correct. Good. That would mean it's losing some seconds, or it might mean it's losing some seconds. So let's see what it does now without that initial sleep. Because I think it was doing it just when I put it to sleep the first time. So let's see if we get a clock speed up. Yep. But it did skip multiple seconds. That's interesting. I got like 30 seconds out of that. That's weird. There we go. There's our time. The time is updating. I really don't think it's possible for it to sleep longer than 2 seconds, but clearly there's some stacking of the time. And I would have expected it to update the last check time. No, minus last test time, minus 100. See, that's right too. This is all the process of updating that time. Maybe these calculations take longer than... No, that can't be enough. Maybe the wake takes a little bit longer than 2 seconds. A good way to test this might be just to do the... set that down to 1 second. Already pushed all the buttons. Now we're just waiting for it to catch up. Still not receiving enough data. I'm cranking it back down. we go. Reduced. Come on now. I'm probably just killing my router. That's probably the problem. I don't know how readable the screen is now, though. There we go. Good. Go to sleep. So it's sleeping every second. It's sleeping for 1 second, and it's updating more than 1 second. It's going 2 seconds, it looks like. Now it will catch 3 seconds, but it's updating every 2 seconds. So that was 3 seconds right there. Interesting. So maybe the light sleep function does slip a little bit more time than expected. So technically, we could probably get away with this this rote review of time. I don't like this. I don't like this anymore. Now, when last check time is going to be delta. Yeah, there we go. We'll do that. Oops. And technically, if we just do this, we're going to I mean, we're covering all our bases here. We're just making it work, all right? We're just trying to eliminate the bug. We'll make it pretty later, all right? I promise. That is not a promise, by the way. It's a big asterisk there. It's a negative. Yeah, that should be it. And the increase time on it should be just fine. Oh, yeah, so let's see if it does the fast clock now, since we've missed a bunch of time. Ooh, look at that. So technically, that was with 1 second, and it was missing up to 1 second sleep time, and it was missing up to 3 seconds, which means we might be able to set this. So I pushed the keys for changing that to a 1 and then effecting a save, and I think it slipped the save. Yeah, it missed the save. Very disappointing. See, I get annoyed with this stuff because I work very fast, and I would like things to be very reactive, and when they're not very reactive, I get very annoyed. It's like, why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night, I press the keyboard, and I wait hundreds of milliseconds for a reaction. You feel it too. Those milliseconds are lost in time. Like farts in the wind. What? Oh, right. Yeah, I have to, like, do good stuff. do C codes things. So it doesn't technically have to be a long. Shoot. Well, it could be 1,000. Yeah, it's fine. It can be an int. I push the button. Are you gonna do the thing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow. Right. So I have to write that. Right. So we're not slipping seconds anymore, and we're going to try to sleep for 2 seconds without slipping seconds. Come on, computer. You can save. Save the file. Good job. Come on, Arduino. You can understand that that file is updated. This is like saving to the cloud server and then pulling down from the cloud server. This is completely unnecessary and a little hilarious. There we go. Compile. Boom, boom. Come on, do the thing. Make the compile. I believe in you. Do the thing. See, here's the problem: is I'm not hardwired. I need to get this work position hardwired. And boom goes the dynamite. Do 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 do. There we are. Now, I've never initiated sleep from the serial terminal. Yeah, funny. So there's 14, 16. That's 2 seconds. There's 3 seconds. That's 5 seconds. That's 6 seconds. Well, that's very interesting. So according to that, we're not exactly sleeping for 2 seconds here. We might actually still lose some seconds. That is interesting. So the light sleep function is, I mean, I guess I'm probably being kind of aggressive with it, using it so many times, but what else is the light sleep function for? Yeah, that's 6 seconds. How is this? Whew. That is very surprising. Let's see if we lost any time or slipped any seconds. Yup. Well, now that seemed to indicate that it was slipping like minutes. So if that slipped up to, well, that's weird. I mean, it's weird, but I'm still gonna do this just for testing purposes. I mean, can it slip 10 seconds during the light sleep cycle? A 2-second light sleep cycle? Hey, technically that fares better for the battery, right? 1 second might be an appropriate sleep time, though. But that means I'll have to hold down a key button for more than 2 seconds, and that's not true. Huh. I guess we're talking about like compounding milliseconds, though, on each sleep cycle. So I guess that does make sense. There we go. Put it to sleep. It's 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 4 seconds. Ooh, 5 seconds. 6. Wait. Is that right? Am I doing some math wrong? Is someone out there laughing at me right now? Because I'm just being ridiculous. It can't be right. Yeah, I might need to step away from this. I'm getting confusified. Because it hasn't even been asleep that long. So that was the seconds catching up, but it wasn't incrementing the minutes. Because if you flip over 10 minutes, that's weird. So maybe this, maybe the minute hand did move actually. Yeah, I just need to take this overall time and divide it by 1,000 and get how many seconds it should skip forward, but I still don't trust any of these times. Like, that doesn't make any sense why that would help the situation. So we're going to do this, because this was successful. We're going to set this back to 1. And we can do some calculations based off that. But I'll have to set some timers and make sure that it's not actually slipping time. Because that's just weird, man. Wrote it, and now do this thing. Come on, Arduino. I believe in you. You can do the thing. There we go. Do 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 do. Yeah, we got breakfast coming up. Definitely time to take a break. It's time to stop, okay? It's time to stop. No more. No tone. Go to sleep. Interesting. Still very interesting. There's 2 seconds in there. Yeah, that's weird, man. So now we won't have slipped any time, I don't think. Yeah, because we're not. That was 2 seconds. That was 3 seconds. So no clock time. Yeah. That's interesting. Let's go up to loop. There it is. We'll do that. And go to sleeping. Comment that out. Good, good. Yeah, weird. Well, it's not slipping time. And I can charge it. Look, it's already charged. Wow. That's just from this morning. I guess it has been a few hours. But this is on a USB port too, so that's like 500 milliamps. Yeah, at best. That's good. I really like how light this smaller battery is. So somehow, for some reason, this works. Not really going to question it, but I am going to check. Yeah, that's weird, man. At least only losing seconds is fine, because the minutes are updating. And by the minutes are updating, I mean, I'm pretty sure the minutes are updating. I mean, if it's performing those calculations, it's definitely updating the values. So, like, why wouldn't they be updating? Let's reset our time. It is 9:42, probably 43. Make it 44 by the time this finishes saving and uploading, and this finishes downloading and uploading. Currently uploading and done uploading, and this is downloading. Then when it finishes downloading the code that was uploaded, it will upload the code to this. This is absolutely ridiculous. Let's see if we're caught up. I think we might be. I don't think you want this audio capture. Yeah. And you can't hear me. Where are we? Where are we? cool. .44, and we'll set the time, and I'll check on it later. But that's really solid. This is technically a fix, but a little bit of a workaround. Battery life is still way better, more than double. So that's pretty cool. All right. Streamy stoppy. Oh, it's Nigogol. See if I got this right here.